What's going on, guys? Anybody checking out the stream right now? We are live. We are working on man coverage. I was trying to find a good quarterback and a good wide receiver group to go up against a DB group that would be pretty comparable. Guys with no abilities. That's what I was looking for to start. And then I'm trying to think about what's the best way to do it. Practice mode versus game mode. And I think I already know that game mode is probably better. Um, I'm gonna have to probably do both. I really can't tell you how it's gonna work out. So my biggest issue right now is trying to find a receiver and um, a good. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Lions. Let me just stop the cap. I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think the Lions would give me the best chance to get this done. All right, where's my box? Go back out into this. Trying to get my chat box going right now. I can't see anything for some reason. I think it's pretty loud, huh? Testing, testing. I think it's pretty loud, huh? Testing, testing. Sorry about that background noise, guys. I think it's pretty loud, huh? All right. It's weird. The chat looks a little different here. Hold on. There we go. All right. Well, see some guys come in. Again, I was going to try to jump into let's do practice mode. The best guy that I found so far for the rosters was actually the Lions. So looking at a quarterback rating, I was trying to find somebody that has pretty average, good throw power, but somewhere in the mid 80s when it comes to accuracy. And as I was going through a lot of teams, there's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the game. I didn't realize that. Like the top quarterbacks are really elite, and the bad quarterbacks are really bad. Hold on, guys. Sneeze. Yeah. So anyway, you know, throw power 90 with Jared Goff. He has really good short range accuracy, which is interesting. But this is pretty good. 85, 81. The other one I was going to look at was Stafford. It was kind of like in the same range, a little bit less short accuracy, but he doesn't have a wide receiver that I really can work with. He only has Cooper Cup, and he has abilities. So then when I looked at wide receivers, St. Brown is pretty cool. He has 97 catch, which I didn't realize he has such good hands. But his route running is pretty average, right? 88, 89, 89, 82. Catching traffic 84. Spectacular catch. So he's a good receiver. He's not going to be like over the top. Oh, he is a superstar. Shoot. What kind of skills is he? What kind of does it say what he has? He has. Oh, okay, no, we can't use this. So again, I'm trying to find a wide receiver pairing to go with the quarterback that's good enough, but there's just no good quarterbacks with who doesn't have abilities. I mean, I can look at Bryce Young real quick. Let me just check to see what receivers he has that might be up there. Thielen doesn't have any abilities anymore. What's his route running now? Okay, Thielen might be all right. This is pretty good. Mid 80s. I'm trying to find two average players to kind of go up against each other to start with no abilities. And what's his speed? 89. Not the fastest. You'd like to see a little bit faster. But let's see that. Let's see that, and then as long as Bryce Young is not ridiculous. Let's see. Ridiculously bad. What does he have? If you guys have any good quarterback wide receiver pairings that are good quarterback, a good wide receiver that I average to a little bit above average would be all right. Kind of want to get a 90 throw power guy, but I guess throw power has really been nerfed this year. A lot of quarterbacks have lower throw power. 87, 83, 81. It's not bad. I just don't like the 80. I don't like the 87 throw power. I can use the Panthers if I need to. All right, who else is there? I'm trying to see who else is in the league. I'm not playing with Jimmy. Matthew Stafford was fine. He just didn't have another receiver that was decent. Let me look at Van Jefferson, Demarcus Robinson. Maybe these guys can give me something. From a route running standpoint, that's not too bad. Where is it at? I think I passed it already. The Saints. That's true. I got Carr, and then what's his name? Who's going to be the receiver I throw it to? The rookie or the guy who's a second year player now? Yeah, this is not good. Let's see the Saints. Okay, I see what you're saying. 95 catches pretty good for Chris Olave. How do you say his last name again? I always get it messed up. Olave, right? Michael Thomas, does he have abilities? Big body guy. He has the good route running, pretty good. But I think Olave might be good, man. I think this would be pretty good with these two guys, right? With this, and then who's the quarterback? Carr. 95 catch, so he's going to hold on. Does he have really good catch in traffic and stuff too? 84. We'll see. I think that catch could be a little bit high, but let's look at Carr. Oh, that's route running. Make sure his throw power and all that stuff is good. 91, 83. Okay, perfect. Let's do the Saints. So the Saints are good. All right, so we'll go with that. And then the Saints have any DBs that are right around the same thing right now? Any corners? Latimer has abilities. Roby is my guy. He used to coach this guy. He only has 89 speed. So right now I'm just looking for a good corner with no abilities, but probably has like high to mid, mid to high 80 ratings. So that's not there. All right, we could pick a different team, obviously. So let's see, DB wise. If you guys have any, I know you guys are saying Pats and Bucks, but that's for offense, right? But I think both of those might have some good DBs as well. Actually, we're just looking for man coverage, right? So, what am I doing here? Let's just do it just like this. I know this will give me the best man cover guys. Wow, it really drops off. You only have a couple guys in the high 90s, and then it just drops off. Wow. All right. So, it's funny. I want to use Javarius Ward again, to be honest with you. He was pretty good. His play rack was 91. He might be a little bit too good. Press is 92. Xavier Howard, Jags on defense. Howard, all right, let's see. Jags. Am I messed up? Is he on? Where's Xavier Howard? No, he's on the Jags. What team is he on? Why am I drawing a blank? We just played with him recently, didn't we? All right, Dolphins. Good stuff, guys. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. 80 play recognition is 82. That's pretty good. Yep. The press is 92. It's pretty really good, but I think that'll be good. So Xavier Howard versus Chris Olave. You think that's good? Yeah. We get those two guys going. So I'll jump into a practice mode. We're trying to get through it. I know sometimes guys get hot in practice and the results aren't the same. If it gets really ugly, then we'll try to maybe jump into a game. Again, I like to use sim, but I think we might have to just use competitive and just go with two controllers and just play it out if that doesn't work. So, but we'll start with practice mode first. I don't think we need play art, right? I think we're good. We know it's man-to-man coverage. So we should be fine. Let me get 2 controllers so we can use both sides. I haven't done a man-to-man video in such a while. The past couple of years, or just even a setup on my own, I've kind of just played the game and just, through all games, kind of figure out where man is at. But so if you guys have any way of doing this stuff, talk to me. Let me know what you think, and we can figure this thing out. I was working on my offense again. Let me just make sure the offense plays. Really doesn't matter. The plays too much, but I'll use New Orleans playbook. Yeah, but whatever you guys think, we'll start obviously with. We can start with the short route tree. We can start with just all the routes that would be short that we can work against. I'm going to start with off coverage, and then we'll go into we'll keep it. We'll go off. We'll go press. All right. We'll see off then press on every route. Or should we just do all the routes on versus off coverage, and then do all the routes again versus press? We'll see. So let's. This is real life. I probably would do all off first, and then worry about press second, so we can focus on the technique. So I'm talking out loud right now, but we'll do that. So let's just get ourselves. Let's get ourselves in the gun. We don't want any drop backs. Let's just go. Make sure. Hold up. Howard's the number 2. Is he the number 2 corner? I gotta look at the depth chart to make sure they match up. Forgot about this real quick. Howard is going to be on the left side of the screen, right? Because he's the number 2 corner. He's not in the slot. Good. And where is he at? He should be on the left of the screen if he's the number 2 corner. He's the number 1. So I'm just going to move him over here so he's on the left of the screen. Remember back in the day that used to be a thing that corners sometimes couldn't press on one side of the screen, but they can press on the other? I think it was right side they can press, and the left side they couldn't. I think that's how it worked, right? Where's Olave? Olave's 13, right? Okay. So Olave, am I saying his name correct? I don't want to mispronounce this dude's name the whole freaking stream. Just give me a 3x1. Here we go. Whatever. We're gonna be audibling routes for the most part here. Start with a slant route. It's cool. I'm gonna play cover 1. I'm gonna play off. Put Jalen in that corner 1. Yeah. Oh wait. Well, I'm not gonna play a game right now. What do you mean? Isn't Didn't I? Oh, hold on. What do you got? So Ramsey in this, I think in this thing is not out there. He's not. He's hurt in real life. Did I just screw it up? Why is Apple over there? I thought corner 2. I thought corner 2 puts him at the right spot. I thought corner 2 puts him on left of the screen. Did they change that? Am I screwed up? Why is Apple out there playing on this play? This should be the right corner in the screen, right? The number 1 corner, and then Apple will be out there. I'll put Ramsey on the other side just so we can keep him out there. Howard at 2, because the slot corners is at 1. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, well, when the slot corner comes, well, the slot is some other guy, right? Who was it? This guy here. He comes in from wherever, doesn't matter, right? I'll put him at corner number 3. I'll make it Apple, all right? Since I saw Apple out there. I'll put Apple in the slot. We'll put Apple at 3rd corner. So this should be fine, right? All right. Slot corner 1, because he was slot corner 1. All right. It's all screwed up with the damn rosters right now. All right, let's just run a play and it should get fixed in the next one. All right. Oh, top. Olave's not the number 1 receiver either. Doesn't he have a higher rating? I didn't auto redo these things. They both are 84. Okay, great. Okay, let's get it going. Yeah, the specialists do take priority. Yep, they do take priority. Okay, we're good now, right? We got everything we want. Howard. And number 12. All right. So let's just go through it, a few times. We're playing off coverage. No shading, no anything. If my timing is off with the quarterback, talk to me. Should be fine now. Got two controllers here. Anyway, so let's just go with, I'm going to go with a slant to start. All right, we're going to just see how they play. I don't think these replays are going to be worth a whole lot right here. But let's say I want to see if they would played off, if they played with zone eyes. As soon as the ball is snapped, let's go back up over here. He does look at the QB, takes his read steps, 1, 2. Sees 3-step, breaks up, gets his eyes back on the receiver. No, he's still looking at the QB. So he broke up pretty quick right there. 1, 2, on the shuffle, came down. I mean, that's pretty quick. He kind of almost hesitated, right? He probably could have kept on coming and made a pick, but he kind of waited right here. But, I mean, that's a very quick break. Let's do it a few more times. I threw that a little bit earlier. Let's get this damn whatchamacallit out the way. Hold on 1 second. I'll move the quarterback. I can control it. If he stays in blocks, it should be fine. He's on that quick, huh? Eli Apple's a bum. I gotta block the running back. I just want him to get in the way. 1, 2, damn. I've never seen an off corner break that quickly. I mean, his foot's in the ground so quick on this. Watch this again. It's pretty consistent with his technique. Right? He's about 8 yards off. 1, 2. I mean, he takes 1 read step, 2 read steps, breaks, comes downhill. Pretty good. He's coming down really fast. I mean, all these plays right here, I would not want to throw. Now, if I did something silly and I held it longer, obviously he's going to run into a window. You shouldn't be throwing slants like that, but realistically, people will hold the ball. But I don't think that's going to matter. Catch. If I catch and throw, it's even worse. If you guys have any comments or anything, let me know. This is pretty simple. I don't want to run too many of these plays because we want to get to the whole route tree. But, I mean, the corner is breaking on that. Might get a hit tackle. Good catch by the receiver. But in my opinion, it looks like the corner, with his fast read steps, and again, we don't even have an ability on the corner right now. There's no abilities on either of these players. Let me see if I get a little wider into the boundary here. See if that changes anything. Well, he's pretty much on that, right? Alright, let's go with a hitch. Nobody really runs hitches, right? I don't even know if I can. It's only a smoke screen. I have to run a curl. That's what I'm going to end now. Let's see if it changes up anything. Let me just swing the back this way just to get out of there. This is with no shading. So you can complete the ball. I mean, that's the NFL, right? You can there's a window there. But I'll say what, it's really a tight window, and you have to really trust it. You have to be very confident. Now, I could use some pass leads as well, right? I have it on the default, freeform settings with accuracy and placement. So I'm just going to kind of get it down here a little bit. Let me go back to the slant. I was doing an in there. So I'm going to go back to the slant. I'm going to pass lead it kind of down at like a 5 o'clock angle here. Or freeform it at a 5 o'clock angle. That was a bad throw. If you guys have any tips on freeforming, I'm not used to really freeforming that much on Quick Game. So if you have any tips on it, let me know. If you would do it a little bit different. Looks like that's still leading him a little bit too much. It's almost like I need to come down at a 6 o'clock, almost 7 o'clock angle. That's too far back behind him. So it's a little hard to do this on Quick Game. I usually freeform on deeper plays, but kind of does at least the ball's coming back. It's just the ball's not being completed. So again, from the orientation of the play, slants I would say right now with an even corner, even average players on general, it would be something like this. You might have to freeform it, but it looks pretty good. If I actually use, and nobody ever does an in route, but this could be part of a combination route. If I had like 3 receivers over here or 2 receivers, what would be the difference, right? A little bit of a flatter angle. I freeform that one down to give myself a little bit of room, but the corner is still right on it. That would be good defense if I'm looking from a defensive point of view. I'm going to do it one more time and then we'll go to a different route. I threw that one pretty normal. So from an in route, the corner is still making it a great break. He's there to make a catch tackle. And, I mean, right now it looks like, obviously, man-to-man coverage is good, just like it was last year. I don't think me playing man is going to show that it's bad. I think we know everything is good. The footwork has gotten so much better with these corners. They kind of do this funny thing, too. I've noticed this before, where they back up, they kind of come down for at an interception point, and if they're not sure, you see he kind of like shuffles over as the route comes inside. I've seen that happen. Tries to like almost stay square as he's coming down, which is kind of you can't do that in real life. But hey, all right, let's go with a quick out. Nobody runs quick outs anymore, but let's just see. I threw that one late. Any QB guys? I'm not an offensive guy. If QB guys say I need to get rid of the ball a little sooner, it's a dangerous pass. Nobody ever runs this really. Nobody runs a 5 yard out from this angle. It would more be like a slot corner type of thing. So we'll come back to the slot later. Let's just go with, let's see what else we have. Before I start making audibles to more things, let's just see what else we can do in the short game or intermediate game that's already in the game. I know I'm going to get to curls here soon. Different types of curls. All right, let's just start working on the basic stuff. If you guys have any suggestions on anything, just let me know. But let's just go with the basic stuff here. Let's just go through the playbook and just see what we have. And look for some curls. The red zone underhook is an interesting type of curl. We're going to kind of mess around with this and then also audible to just a regular curl. But this is almost like he's running back down the stem. This looks a little bit deeper. Like if I went audible curl, it's actually the same thing. It's the same route. I just audible to a curl here, and it's the exact same drawing, but it could be a little bit different. Hitches, yeah, hitch out here at number 1. Yeah, I didn't do that one, did I? I don't think I can do it at the. I would have to find a hitch play, right? You can't get a 5 yard hitch. It has to be in the design. You can't audible to that, right? Unless I have some sort of. Yeah, I was gonna do the smoke screen, but I figured that'd be a waste of time. But I'll do it. I mean, that's just I don't know. He's going to probably react and just be able only to make a tackle. Do I have enough room to make a play? You guys throw smoke screens? But I think with the hitch, I got to do that from the slot if it's an audible. Or maybe I can move him in. Hold on. I could probably move him in and get the hitch audible. Usually nobody moves in the X receiver, but let's just try it. Come on, get inside. From here, I can get a hitch. All right, there we go, hitch. Oh, I threw that. I threw it on time. I thought I threw it on time. That hitch went a little bit further than I thought. I'm gonna get the running back out of there too, guys. Yeah, I'm motioning him in. Yep. All right, so let's just see here. Catch, throw. That hitch is. It looks like he's going to 8 yards, right? We're in the 30, and he's running a hitch up until. Looks like he's running an 8 yard hitch. It's a lot deeper. It's almost like a motion audible him and send him back out. Okay, good idea. See, these are the type of things I don't do because, I don't ever do this in a game. But there we go. We do have it like that. It's kind of a weird in-between timing. My timing is probably off on this play right now. Because it's not really just catch throw. I kind of have to hold it for at least a half a click. We can look at that transition. That transition looked a little bit sloppy from the corner. He was probably caught in between. Because this route is a weird depth. It's not 5 yards. It's like 6, 7, right? So it's 1, 2. He's almost breaking down the second outside step. 1, 2, 3. And then starts to chop it down. So you don't really see this too often, but the corner, his eyes inside, he reads, keeps his leverage, got him to open up his hips, right? So that's what you want. It slows him down. If you That's what you want from a offensive standpoint, right? And then he came back and made a play. No wasted steps though. I like that. He opened his hips, that was wrong. But then plants and drives. It's a good plant and drive. Sorry guys, the DB coaching me is coming. I'm just looking at the footwork. Just want to see how this game plays technically. Plant, gather, drive. 1, 2, 3. If you do it in 2 steps, it's the best, but 3 steps is about average. I mean, Howard can't do anything more than that. But this route could be, if you can somehow design this route in your offense, maybe it'd be good for you. But it's kind of that in between. I know, like the West Coast world back in the day, they used to have different types of levels to their routes. They have hitches, they have hinges, they have a whole bunch of H words, hooks. They have, it's all for different timings and different levels of the routes. But this right here, I did that late. He actually played that one better. He actually played this one better. Actually, he stayed square. Interesting. On this one, watch this. This is actually the battle that you have when you coach corners. If you can stay square, you're better. You can get better transitions, cleaner transitions. He didn't feel threatened for some reason and didn't open his hips. Now, he also paused. He didn't believe it. He didn't believe it, but it could be because of me with the quarterback. I'm kind of waiting a little bit. But his eyes should be on the receiver at that point. He shouldn't keep his eyes on the quarterback anyway. Because if he ran a double move, he would be beat. All right, you guys done with this one? What should be the next route? I'm going to do one more of these until I get your response, because I know it's a little delayed when I say something is delayed. Yeah, I wouldn't chance it, man. Wouldn't chance it. I would not chance it. It's still pretty good coverage. We can start going to deeper routes. We could just go with the regular curl here. Let's go with a regular curl. Poor throw. The dig. Okay, I'll start doing end breakers after I hit the curl. Can't forget the outs. I feel like this is a game in general, versus especially the quarters match coverage, that curls and 12-yard curls, 10-yard curls, 12-yard curls, and out patterns around 10 to 12 yards are going to be better this year. Because the way the DBs, they open up their hips because they want to stay on top of people. They open up faster in general. And man-to-man, we're going to see it right here. But let's try to zoom in. So, again, leverage-wise, it's kind of interesting. We're in man-to-man coverage, and this guy's really reading through. You can read through three. In real life, you can read through three-step, right? And the gun is just basically catch and throw, maybe one-step throw. But once you know it's beyond that, that corner's eyes should be off and on his man right here. But in this case, did he open up? This is probably a cushion that you would open as a corner. Yeah, he did. As soon as he opened is when he sat down. He had a speed turn to come back. So I feel like you can run curls against off-man corners. If you could just time it up right, get them to open their hips up. That one he stayed square. I'm not using any pass lead right now. I'm just throwing, just normal passes, and some of these things are inside. Right there. That's the transition you're trying to get the corner to be in right there. When he opens up and you time it up perfect and he comes back inside. So this could be a route that can work against man if the corner plays like that. Just from a conversation standpoint, I'm going to do it on both sides. So we see what happens with Ramsey. Bad throw. Bad throw. I know Ramsey has abilities. What's up, Scheme? What's going on? We're just kind of going through some routes. If you guys have any suggestions, we're going to do dig next, but we're just looking at routes. Over here, this is an ability corner against Thomas. He never even... he just kept there and stayed there the whole time. It's very busy over there. But on this side, let's see. This time he stayed square. He was about to turn. Didn't, and it was a bad throw. Come on, Carr. I could start to use freeform here a little bit, but I don't want to. But it looks like curls are a route you can run against off man if you have the matchup for sure. The timing of this route feels pretty good. And the corner, if you get him to open his hips up, but it's not consistent. The corner sometimes opens, sometimes he doesn't, and that's pretty good. I feel like that's pretty good. Anything else you want to see with curls, guys? On the outside, a corner, the dig. All right, so let's see if we can find a dig route versus that's actually in the game. Different types of digs. We use this one, curls dig. See how deep this route goes. We're using cover one right now. Hopefully the whole player doesn't get in the way of this. Let's send a 5-man rush. Actually, I can just put the guy into a spy or something. My bad. See how deep this is a pretty deep dig now. I kind of would rather do an intermediate dig. So I'm actually just going to audible him here to like a 12-yard dig. The other one was more of like a backside concept dig with about maybe at 18 yards. So let's just do this one. Let's see how deep it goes. I still have the whole player there, but it's not going to get there. All right. So I think he went about 12 yards right there, right? Kind of has the same, drops his hips right there. Like he was almost on a curl. So he's not speed cutting this. He's kind of square cutting it. This is what I saw a lot of corners do, man. He stayed square, which is great. Kind of recognizes the route, right? And look at this. I've never seen... he side shuffles with this as he runs across. I mean, that... Please show me a DB that's done that before. And he's actually heel clicking. I've never seen that type of body control. That route's not open to me. You know, especially if you click on. I think you can click on and make a play. Let's try it again. If you guys remember from the quarters match videos, you know, I saw a lot of interceptions on digs when the computer was forcing the ball in and the match corner converted into match, and it looked very similar to this, where you kind of sat there and, I mean, kept the leverage. I didn't talk about leverage either, so yeah, I should have probably talked about that as well. It's kind of hard to tell out here. We don't have a red line or anything like that. Maybe I can get it in the middle of the field so I can get the guys to be in a certain spot. Let me see their initial leverage. They should be outside leverage in cover one, but I don't see that happening. Come on. Let's see where I can get this, make this a little more realistic here. Zig, oh, the good old zig route. Oh, he's not going to move in all the way. I'm hoping to get the receiver at the top of the number so I could just see the leverage of the corners. Yeah, he's going to stay out there. We can do it like this. You can see off the line. This is head up. Looks like he's playing head up. So I think that's pretty good. Let's see. I had most success with outside digs versus outside third corners. That would be, I mean, in theory, right, that would be open, really. Outside third corner, all he can really do is kind of drive on a dig. Maybe make it, you know, a catch knockout or whatever, but most of the time, a dig, depending on how deep it is, that's going to be an underneath defender having to play that, right? So I would hope that the outside dig would be open versus an outside third corner, unless he's in match, and then you get the man principles in there, right? Let me just run this a little deeper. The way this route is, this is an outside deep dig. Big six, I would call it, right? He's not really speed cutting it. He's still square cutting it, which I don't like. But this is man-to-man coverage. So, I mean, this is almost at 20 yards. So at 18 yards is when he breaks down. 10, 15, 18, cuts it. He's at 20. I mean, that ball would have to be good. So another thing, so they start head up, but then you see how the corner starts to move the inside leverage down the field, which allows him to keep that inside leverage and then come back and recover. I might have thrown it too late, but still. This is a deep dig. That was a little better by me. I kind of clicked on a little bit. Again, I'm not using pass lead. Just throwing it on time. Had the most success. Everything else was kind of covered. So, yeah. But right now, we're definitely in man-to-man. That was a poor job by the corner here. Didn't, like, trust it. and waited late, so he lost that one. So it's 1-1 right now on the deep dig, on the 20-yard dig. Had pressure in my face there. It's 2-1 receiver, Chris Olave. 3-1 receiver. He's getting almost better cuts right now. So that corner's getting turned. Even though he's inside leverage, he's getting turned and he's not trusting it. He's not, he's speed turning, but he's not like coming out of the break and trusting it and coming downhill. Receiver's pretty much whooping ass right now. Especially if I click on and make sure I make the catch. So that 12-yard dig, no. Deeper dig looks like could work. Again, anybody who just joined, we got two corners. We got a corner and a receiver that are both pretty much in the same category for coverage skills. Man coverage versus his route running. And let me just check again, Olave. What is he at with his... let me just check the differences in his route running here. Because maybe he's a better or deeper route runner than he is a shorter route runner. That makes a difference, right? Oops. Chris Olave, he is 85. Oh, he's pretty much even across the board. So short, not great. Maybe that's why we're getting better breaks. 85, 86. So that's average, right? And again, he's going up against Howard, who has what again? Man coverage is... La-da-dee, la-da-da. Let me know if I'm going too slow, too fast. Gotta get more routes than I know. Did I just pass all that stuff? Here it goes. 83. So he's a little bit less. He's 2 points less than he is there. Let me see what Ramsey can do against him. You guys want to see what Ramsey can do against that route? What do we got here? Had the most, everything feels covered. X follow out of Y spread. Is that a play in this playbook right now or no? I would have to flip. I would have to put a lobby on the other side. I don't feel like doing all that work right now. We'll stay with this, and then we'll get later on another part of the stream. We'll get a better corner versus a whatchamacallit. So what do we got here? You said X follow out of Y spread. Is that a play? I'm assuming that's in his book. What formation are you talking about? Some type of spread formation? I'll wait for you. Because I'll probably start going. We're doing in breakers, so let me know what you mean by X follow. Is that a play or is that a route? Otherwise, I'm going to look at some post walls here real quick. So we'll see if I'm going to 3x1 post if I can. See, hopefully we have some in this book. Am I bugging out? Where am I at? Okay. I may not have any post. I'll come back to the C route here. There goes a post. It's kind of a short post here, but that's not bad. Yeah, that's a very short post. I think I can actually even hot route that, make it deeper, right? A little bit deeper. So let's see how this goes. I gotta time it up better myself. This is like almost like a bang 8, you know? If I throw it too early, he doesn't turn. If I throw it too late, he can play that one better. So again, that break is so short, I'm not getting the corner to turn, he's staying square. It looks like he's breaking at about 12 yards, right? Probably his third outside step. 3. Almost his fourth outside step. If he did break on his third outside step, that would be a true bang 8. But here, yeah, so it's a little bit deep. It's not deep enough to turn the corner. So we'd have to find like maybe a bigger post, which I don't think is really going to work well versus this. I'm not going to even waste my time versus it right now. Let me see if there's a big post I can get. I really don't ever think I would ever throw a deep post. I have to change the coverage too, obviously. Let's see. Let's see if we can find something somewhere. This is just the bad part about just coming into the game right now. This formation. I really don't throw too many posts. It's another short one. Ba, ba, ba. Alright, we'll probably come back to it. Probably it's not going to be in. Let me see the backside of bunch. I doubt it's going to be there. That's a tight end bunch. We can start working on these out routes here pretty soon. I'll come back. I'll definitely do some of this wide trail stuff here. That's a dig. Post. That's another. Let's just kind of run this dig route here from flanker spot. Little inside release, vertical, comes back in. Kind of speed cuts it a little bit. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna replay on the second one, not the first one. I feel like the first one in practice mode is always weird and always off. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, off man, I mean, it's definitely covering pretty well right now. Definitely, I can live in this world. All right, so he shuffles, pedals, comes downhill. Again, leverage-wise, it looks like he's, even though he's wide, looks like he's trying to keep slight inside leverage, head up to inside throughout this right now. So that's what it looks like it does naturally. All right, let's start throwing some outs. I'm just gonna do it from an X position first. That doesn't really matter, but I just feel better doing it that way. Trail post. What's the correct timing for that dig throw? I don't know. That looks like the backside of like a. That would be late in the. Well, actually, no. It actually looks like a grab route. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times on that type of route that I just threw, you have. They're not gonna show it to me here. You have a zig coming from the inside out, right? So it's kind of like a high-low read. Anybody on offense who knows offense better than me, speak up. But so I'm not sure if that would just be from the gun, just the drop back, 3-step from the gun, which would equal what 5-step, whatever, and then throw on time. But it looks like it needs a little bit more time to open up. But I'm looking more just to see the reaction of the DB and see how he actually, his footwork and how he's timing it up himself. All right, we don't have any outs here. I know I saw some other outs. I'm just gonna go with the C route first, and then I'm gonna audible some outs on the backside and some comebacks. So I'll start with the C route just because it's there. Oof, that was amazing separation. It happened so quick. I wasn't even ready for that. Lord. All right, let's take a look at this. Our C route's back. Throw it early. Oof. Boy just ate his lunch on that C route. Our C route's back this year. Oh, the deep dig we did, I think I did it once. That one worked out well. I thought that was the one route that I liked so far. So far, I think the curls are good, and because if you can get the corner to open up, which about 75% of the time looks like he's opening up, and the deep 20-yard dig, 18 to 20-yard dig was there. But look at this. He shuffles inside. Again, I don't like his eyes. And at this point, when he gets up on him, so he shuffles inside for 2 steps. He doesn't really get into a back pedal. He's kind of still in the shuffle. But then this part right here, this is amazing separation by the receiver. Plant, he's gone. That looks like it's open. I think I'm going to throw this route about 10 times. I think I'm going to get about 7 of them if I throw it on right timing. And I'm not using any pass lead or anything. That's 1 for 1. Poor throw, but that's 2 for 2. 2 wins. Damn, come on. Get the timing down here, brother. I mean, get the accuracy going. That's 3 wins, though. Drag the feet. That's 4 wins. Didn't somebody say outs were good above? No, nobody did say that, right? Just the deep dig versus the outside third corner, but that definitely should work against third corners. But against man, we're good. I think we're proving that these digs are looking pretty good. I mean, the C routes are looking good. You know, I used to love C routes back in the day, and then a couple years ago it was pretty good. Last year wasn't bad versus two man. I didn't really run it that much, but you can just see the separation is ridiculous right now. Now, as we come back to this stuff, I'm gonna back up the corner and see if it makes a difference. That's the first time that he played it well, and if you saw that, he kind of stepped forward for some reason in this one. It's the first time that the corner kind of like stepped forward. See that? I don't know what that was. That's the computer saying stop embarrassing me. Enough is enough. He did it again here. Maybe he's been doing it the whole time. I think we're good, right? Try comparing it to press and off coverage. Yeah, definitely. I want to just go through it all with off, and then I'm going to come back and do the same routes with press. And see, I'll know the routes, which ones we had trouble with. I want to see if they do a better job. So far we have obviously this route. We have the curl. We have the big six, the big dig. I'm just gonna go with a regular out here, not like a C route out. I'm gonna go with like an audible out. I don't think we have one in this formation. Usually it's 2x2 where you would get that, right? Let me see if we have a regular out pattern here, and then we'll do comebacks. Or my, it's gonna be like a spread 2x2. They probably don't have it in this book here. Let me see if there's anything from single back or I formation. Probably not. Everything nowadays is from a cut split, which I do have to go back and do cut split releases or close split releases and stuff like that. So let's just line up and just audible one. I'll just use this. I'll just use this. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so I'm just gonna put on a hot route audible out pattern, 10 yards. I do that one, good timing. Again, my theory going into this year is because the corners are not trying to get beat deep, and they are playing with a little bit more cushion, that good timed routes, intermediate routes are gonna be there. It looks like these outbreaker routes are there. This is like old school Madden, like back in the 2010s. You can throw out routes against man coverage all day if you want it. This is where abilities might have to come into play. But it looks like right now, this 12-yard out is getting pretty wide open. And it's kind of funny with this release. I mean, his pattern, look at this. He's looking inside. And then it looks like he broke his back or something. What kind of route running is that? Anyway, the corner, though, just seems, the transition is so slow. It's like he's in good position to cover it. It just doesn't burst. You see how Xavier Howard is kind of like in place? He doesn't burst to the ball. It's like slow to react. I think we're pretty good there. So we see C routes. We see just these intermediate out routes. If you throw it on time, on the break, it's pretty good. Now let's just put a comeback, audible comeback here. I know there's different types of comebacks. This last year I felt like wasn't good. Comebacks were always good in the past. It were like if you got man to man, everybody would just throw a comeback no matter what, because it always got wide open separation. If you throw it on time, right now I'm getting kind of a little of the same reaction. Last year I felt like the comeback floated and it gave a lot of time for the DBs, but I felt like the DBs played a lot closer and they kind of squatted on routes. They didn't really take care of the deep routes, but now because they are taking care of the streaks, kind of opens up the intermediate game, I feel like. Bad throw. I feel like this makes you want to go get a quarterback with a good arm. Instead of playing with Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. Oh, man. I think you can have fun with this. Imagine the quarterback had abilities, too. What do you guys think? Looks like comebacks. It looks like out routes, anything over 10 yards, C routes. It looks like deep digs are there. Now the short game, oh, I didn't change it, I'm sorry. The short game and intermediate game, another story. We can go streaks. People said streaks are pretty on lockdown this year. So let's try to go some streaks here. Let's try to back up a little bit. Let's just go deep, straight up. Let's just see what happens. Who gets on top? Who doesn't? Now I think that's the thing. These acrobatic finishes are the big thing. You know what I'm saying? Try to fade him a little bit on this streak. Got burnt right there. Anything? Are you saying anything over 10 is good? You think? Yeah, I hate the eyes. Gotta get them eyes to get back. I guess in today's game, where they have to see the ball come out in order for them to break, so maybe that's part of it. But there's nothing wrong with this turn. You just got to go, and that was part of the problem last year. A little bit on those quarter routes. You gotta run a little faster. And I think the speed does come into play here, right? Because what do we say? Isn't Xavier Howard a little slower than him by like a tick? Let me look at the speed ratings real quick. All right, yeah, he has 93, 95. Okay, so he is pretty fast. 93 speed, 95 by fault, 95 acceleration. And Howard, I think, was much slower. He might be 89. So that's poor job by me with the speed breakdown there. And that could be part of the reason why he's not breaking on the balls quickly on those deeper routes. 91 speed. Okay, so he's two ticks slower, and then 2 ticks slower here too. So he's just a little bit slower. But I would take this matchup, right? You guys would take this matchup. You probably would live with it if you had to play in a game situation. But he definitely has a step on him. Let me try to freeform this down the field. I think that took too long there. Kind of floated that ball a little bit too much. So it's definitely there. I think that pass is there. I think the speed ratings are going to matter. I don't know. What do you guys think? You said people aren't really bombing people in the game. Streaks aren't a big issue. I mean, to me, this is actually a really good, well-thrown ball. But this is what's different, right? The corners use their hands. They use their arms. He got a hand on it, right? I'm sure I can jump into... I'm not a big freeformer. I'm not a big high passer or anything like that, but I will go high pass on this one. I jumped and I caught it. I don't know if I had to jump, but the DB did a different animation there. I really don't want to spend too much time on streaks. But he does have a slight step on him. DB's beat. High throw. He just went. This time it looks like he went for the catch. Anyway, that's one play. I would have to do this like over and over and over. I can go high pass and I can go free form at the same time. Maybe I'm throwing it a little too late. So you can get it out there. All right. So we have done off man. It looks like deeper routes and out routes. Intermediate, anything over 12 yards is good from the out route standpoint. The in breaking routes, if it's a hitch, a curl, it's good. If it's a dig, no. But if you get to 20 yards, it's good. Well, what other routes? I know we got to look at routes in the slot. I know we have to look at crossing routes and zig routes. But right now I'm just focused on the outside receiver. What do you want? Try fitting the back shoulder fade. Oh, you think I'm that nice? You think I'm that nice? How do you do a back shoulder fade? How you do that? I would love to learn how to do that. I know if my boy Shadow Monkey was here, he would be laughing at me because he swears he can do back shoulder fades all the time. I'll try one. You might have to teach me how to do it. What is it? A free form outside and down? Which I'm not really that great at doing. kind of threw that late and outside. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Whoa. Straight down? Okay. And what kind of pass? Is it like a bullet pass still, or is it kind of like a kind of, I'll try to lob it a little bit? Oh, I see what you're saying. Hmm, interesting. Do it kind of late, I think, a little bit. Well, right now I haven't beat so much over the top, but that first one was pretty good. As he turns his back, that one went outside. That's not really it. Interesting. All right, we can get into a quarterback clinic and how to throw this ball. Oh shit, that's not bad. I've never done that before, bro. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And Carr is doing it. And this is, again, we don't have a quarterback with abilities, but we have a guy who has pretty good, average accuracy. So interesting. It does work though, man. All right, I can sit here on my own time and do this for hours, but I won't do that right now. All right, let's work on. I think playing off is going to be not something people are going to do. So let's just jump into some press, and then we'll work on some slot routes, and then we'll probably call it a day for now. And then I'll come back later on. But I do want to see good corners as well against bad receivers, and I want to see good receivers versus good corners. If you guys want to see anything, let me know, because you guys are watching this too. So, all right. So I'm just going to go over the routes that I thought we had trouble with, and then I might just go back and do some of the other routes real quick. So this big, let's just do the curl first. This curl, I felt like I can win when I was on offense. You want me just to manually press this guy or press the whole defense down? Do you guys have any philosophy with that? With pressing the whole defense compared to manually just pressing one receiver? Tell me what you think. Shading and pressing? Oh boy. Now we're going to another level. If we go shade and press, what kind of shade are you talking about? Let me just do press. We got to go one step at a time here. I'm just going to press the whole defense, okay? We're not going to do any shade. I'm going to leave the shades alone to the very end. All right, so I felt like this route right here was money. Let's see what happens when we get some bump and run. I need to probably look at some bump and run stats too after this, but let me look at Howard's bump and run. I thought it was actually pretty good. I gotta look at release too. Forgot about that. My bad. All right, bump and run, release. Where is it at? Oof, Olave only has a 67, freaking 76. What's Michael Thomas's route running? I might move Thomas over, to be honest with you. Bigger body, has bigger release, better release. If it gets kind of out of whack, I'll switch it. But right now, not a great guy to get off the release, off the jam. And then Howard's jam is what? Where's his press rating? Did I skip it already? I swear to God, I can't freaking see what shit is. Is it all the way in the back? Okay. I really wish in the depth charts they would just put the stuff that you need for the corners in the front all the time. Why do I have to go all the way back here like I'm a second class citizen? 92. So really good press, right? If we get into a little bit of a jam, I might just put Michael Thomas over there, but we'll see what happens. Let's keep on pressing. But that first one, he lost. Right? He lost this press. Let's see. Let's get into this. Let's get into this right here, boys. We think he's aligning head up. Good job staying square. Two-hand, he missed the two-hand jam. So Chris Olave kind of gave him a nice little, came at him, gave him a little swipe move, a little swim move there. Boop, boop, got by him. And what's his name tried to get back to the inside. I would tell the corner to stay outside. That's a waste of time. Him trying to get back to the inside on top. Nope. All right. Win one for the receiver with bad press. I mean, bad release. But he won the first battle. Let me just get this out of there. I don't want no other guy in the way. Did the same move. Another win. Another win for the corner. I mean, for the receiver. This is a receiver with much worse release. Keeps using the same move on this route. Getting to the inside. 3 wins for the receiver. Now, I heard you guys talk about using a shade. Maybe that will help. Maybe I'm going to try that if he keeps on losing every single one. This one was more of an even hand fight battle. I'm going to look at this replay. But the thing is, though, the receiver, the corner is getting so far up the field trying to get back on top that he is losing at the top of the route. Okay, it looks like the same thing. 2-hand jam. You want to try to keep your body square. A lot of times when I used to coach press, I didn't like pressing at this position. I learned later on to like back up another step. You know, give them a good full 2 yards maybe, so that you can almost play basketball with them and try to stay on top of them and square as long as you can. But eventually, obviously, you have to turn your hips. Now, some people with the 1-hand jam is all about 1-hand jam, open your hips at the same time. But I've never believed that. I've always believed if you open up the gate too soon, you're in trouble. But you have to know your ability. You have to know how fast your hips are. I love this part of the game. I love how guys are hand fighting each other. Kind of like, as a DB, you're taught to do that. Kind of like, get your hand in there. Kind of slow them down a little bit. But with the DB not looking at the QB, which is not what he's supposed to do. The other thing too is this, right? His eyes should be down, right, on his hips. The corner should be looking at the receiver's hips, not just running up the field. All right. Let's see here. So I think right now press is looking like it's not working well there. I'm gonna get one more, and then I will stop being a homer and maybe shade with the press. I'm going to go actually outside shade first, which is kind of counterintuitive, but in old Maddens, outside shade used to be better. Used to get better results. And if you inside shade, it was horrible. So I'm going to go inside, I'm going to go outside shade first. Okay, then I'm going to press. Yes, there you go. Hop scooch 2 yards, give yourself a chance to win the jam. Yep. Love it, man. All right, let's try this out. He's actually in an outside shade, and then I pressed. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I didn't want to go press and then go outside shade, because it looks like he's actually lined up inside right now, but interesting. You see how all of a sudden now the receiver's working outside? Oh, what's up, South? Yeah, definitely Discord. I remember you, man. I had a feeling it was you, man. What's going on? South side. So I went outside shade, right? And then I went press. For some reason, the corner, when he pressed, he's in his face to the inside. Let me see if Ramsey's doing the same thing over here. Yeah, all the corners look like they're inside shade. But it's weird. I press outside shade first. If you guys have any understanding of that, that's kind of different. But here, now he kind of forced him to the outside because of his body position. But he's still at the top of the route. That's getting his ass kicked. Let me just see what's going on with Ramsey on the other side. I don't think I have an actual curl route, though, so it's a dig route. Okay, anyway. Let me just see what happens if I do go out. If I do go shade down, if I press first, then I go shade outside. Right? They're going to line out. It's going to look a little different. It's kind of funny. I did the exact same thing, just the mechanics were the opposite. He's going to inside release and work there. So what do you guys think I should do with shading? I'll let you guys, I want your opinion on this. What would you do? I actually like the idea of, if I can shade outside first, right? I haven't done shade outside and actually done it from off yet, right? And then I can actually press the guy. Oh, maybe it was wrong last time. Maybe I did it wrong. Let me go back on that. Now they are playing outside leverage. My fault. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it gets the same inside release and the same result with the curl. So I'm sorry about that. Sorry to confuse you guys. I did it wrong. So outside shade, they actually do work outside. I must have done inside shade by accident. So I'm gonna say that if I know it's a curl, right, you probably want to be on the inside shade because being on the outside is kind of opening up the easiness to run an inside breaking route. What do you think? So let's say I do go inside shade and I press. It's gonna force the route to go outside. But the problem is the top end of the route, the corner is getting his ass whooped. I mean, he's not staying with it. All right, let's go. Let's just go. Let's just press, okay, and then let's go over the top coverage. So he shouldn't. He should just scooch back. He should mirror him, right? He should just like motor mirror him right here. It might be incidental contact, but that's about it. That was a bad throw, but I think the receiver was still open. So I think everybody knows. I know some sim leagues don't allow you to do this, but mine do. We can be in a press, but we're playing over the top. Looks like the corner actually was the aggressor here. Kind of a mirror technique, but it's still not doing anything at the top of the route. It's still a problem. Let's try it again. I'm going to individually press him here over the top coverage. It's weird that the accuracy of the quarterback is getting kind of messed up there. I know we want to see the jam battles because when you play over the top, it's like the corner's not trying to jam him. They're getting like he's getting bumped by accident down the field a little bit. But the funny thing is that you see how all the accuracy is off with the quarterback by me doing this stuff? But that just looks dangerous if this guy was actually running a vertical route, right? We'll do it one more time. I don't think this is something you really want to live in. Over the top again. I'm telling you right now, he actually plays it closer. He really does. What would scare the hell out of me though is if for some reason they bump into each other and he's just running a go route. Oh, he stayed with it. It's actually pretty good. What do you guys think? Looks like playing on top coverage actually covers this route better. I'll just keep going back to some press with no shading. Press, shade inside and underneath. I've heard people do that, Ranger. So you can actually have like 2 or 3 things, right? So I pressed. So if I go inside, which I did there, can't really, inside, my fault. Inside, right? And underneath. I don't like underneath coverage at all, but I'll try. Inside and underneath. Let's see. Looks like he kept his hand on him a little bit longer down the field. And so let me back up so we can see the camera. I can't back the camera up. I have to change the settings. Inside, underneath. That underneath is not making him go over the top. Might have found something. How's underneath coverage in general if I didn't do inside? Would he get really screwed up? It's playing a lot better. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna run a go route. You know me. I'm sorry, I'm a DB coach, man. I get worried about stuff. Inside, underneath. I'm just curious to see how bad he gets burnt. I mean, he's not getting burnt any worse than if he was playing just inside leverage, right? Ranger, I think that's the best way that I've seen it done so far. If I just did off coverage underneath, what happens? Because last year this used to be really bad. He just kind of sits there. That looks like how it used to be back in the day. Off coverages was like this back in the day, like years ago, where it wasn't so obvious, and people who were like automatic would get, he's sitting there. I know he's squatting. That's horrible. If I ever did this, I would only do it to one side and potentially shade my free safety over this way. But I do love that he didn't put hands on him, and he just made an easy pick. I used to do this all the time for out routes. Like I used to do, they already kind of are outside, but I would go outside leverage. My fault. I'm on offense. My fault. If I had a 10-yard out, I would go outside leverage underneath. I think underneath just in general was fine. And people who used to automatically want to throw out routes versus man to man, that was taken care of. I know I'm getting a tangent right now. I'm trying things. Let me just do regular outside leverage and no underneath. Yeah, you can come back and kind of eat that up. Underneath coverage might be it, man. What do you think, Ranger? Have you seen that this year? People coming back to underneath coverage? Because I used to do stuff like in cover 2-man, I would do it a lot, but I would actually I don't want to back up everybody. I'm just back up this corner. I would back them up. Let's go underneath. I'm just going to go underneath from this default stock. I mean, it's not great, but it's going to take away this route. You got to be worried about over the top, but I mean, you got to give up something to get something, right? It's like playing catch man. You're absolutely right. It really is. So if that was the case, you kind of want to play the cover 2 behind it, right? You want to have two high safeties back there. But it really is like playing catch man. That might be really good. I haven't looked at the hitch on the other side, but I'm assuming I've been underneath with everybody. Look at that hitch. That's pretty much taken care of. This dagger, obviously, that's what you want. It's not bad. Yeah, that's something that's been in the game for a little while. It's like it's one of those things where you don't believe it. Like you could do 2 different shadings and it won't override the first one. Yeah, it actually does both together. Somebody put out a really good man video back in the day, like 2 years ago, and their theory was I think it was like versus press to do. If you want to play cover 1, I think it was the play. I forgot how it worked. At that time, things were different. I think it was outside shade, right? I think that was it. I don't know if it was outside shade and underneath or outside shade and over the top. I think that's what it was. Outside shade and over the top. I think that used to work well back in the day. And the reason why it was pretty good is just you can see the releases of the route. Based on how the routes were released, you can tell where the routes were going. So if you wanted to use it a free safety or something, it would always give a tell to what kind of route it was going to be based off of how the receiver released. But I don't know if that's in the game right now. That's way too deep. All right, so man-to-man coverage, off stock default. It's pretty good against the intermediate stuff, breaking inside. Curls, no, though, right? Anything on the outbreaking routes, not too great. And then the deep ends, not too great. But if we want to start getting real fancy, it looks like shading underneath and trying to guess if it's inside or outside might be the way to go. I think I would rather do it from a press position because I want to have this look like cover. I want to use this and cover 3 together. So I would rather start moving guys around. And then unfortunately, I think if you call cover 3, the guys with the shading, you can't shade in cover 3. So if people can kind of see you moving left and right, they know you're in man to man, right? Let's say I came out in cover 3. You can't individually shade anybody in cover 3. You can't do any of that stuff. The corners don't move. So that's a tell, unfortunately. If I come out and you see my corners moving around, playing inside or outside leverage, but underneath leverage, not so much. There's no tell with that, so that's not bad. Let's see. My boy would press, and he would be in like the press would be in glue. I couldn't figure out what he was shading. Yeah, I think there was back in the day if you press and went like outside shade or something, or press and over the top. This is different every year. It changes, I think. And cover one of the episodes we did outside shade to the boundary unless he was oversplit. Inside shade to the field corner. Yep. I like that. Divider rules. Yeah, basically. I saw somebody did a good video on that last year too. I never got to it. I think I spoke about it a little bit. Was if you could do all these adjustments. See, I'm not a guy who wants to make a million adjustments. I'd make like maybe two, three at the most. But wouldn't it make sense to just in general? I don't care about the route right now, but if it's even, because let's say we're sending five. Let's just say we don't have a whole player. Okay, so we're not worried about where your help is and all that stuff. But if you can individually take your outside guys, right? Now again, we just saw that really the only route that's really killing us is curls and the deep dig. But again, you could just kind of like shade your corner. You could do individual shades, right? You could shade your outside corner, Howard, put him inside, and then you could do the same thing out here. Now take your nickels, right? Really, I don't want this guy, but you could take your nickel and put him inside. Again, you have to be really quick with the sticks with all this stuff, man. So guys that are lined inside the numbers, you can shade inside. Guys that are like outside of, I mean, the opposite. I'm sorry. You can shade outside with the guys in the slots. You can do inside with the guys on the outside. But who does all that before the snap? That's a lot of work. A lot of people quick snap you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, with the college hassles, you're right. Yeah, you're really making it almost impossible for somebody to win with the college hashes because there's so much, especially to the field. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But in the NFL, these guys get paid a lot and it doesn't make much of a difference. When I was coaching, I think I said this last night, we pretty much always went head up to outside in all man coverage because we wanted everything to get funneled back to the inside post safety or get funneled to some sort of hole robber rat player. We wanted that to be the focus, and we didn't want to give up outside release vertical routes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the easiest way to give up a touchdown. Yeah, we gotta get into the freaking. I'm moving really slow right now. We gotta get into the shading of freaking slot receivers and also the shading of all this nasty stuff. Oh goodness, it's kind of almost depressing. the life of a the life of a defensive guy, man. You got to go through a lot, bro. All right, right now I don't know if I have all the formations in this playbook that I want to get into, but let's switch it up. Let's go Z close. What have we not done? Let me just make sure. From the outside X receiver or Z receiver, for the most part, we covered everything. We haven't gotten to the slot routes. Pretty much once we start getting into cut receivers, we're pretty much in the slot family now. So it would be no different if I had a slot. So maybe we should get multiple guys on the field. I'm gonna keep it one right now. Anyway, let's look at. I know X cut is the big thing this year. Let me see if there's an X nasty in here. That's what everybody's gonna be running this year. I feel like X nasty. What playbook has X nasty in it? I actually would like to come back out and come into this and get into a playbook that has X nasty. I think the 49ers do. He used the divider rule. I like to see that. If you can link that to me, man, I would love to see it. If you can send it to me. Ranger, you're in the Discord, right? You're in game plan. If you're not, you need to get over there. Yeah, you're the guy that was you were just talking to me earlier, right? My fault. Yeah. Yeah, I got you, that's right. Yeah, just send me a DM. Send me his things, man. I want to take a look. I probably seen his stuff, didn't realize it, but yeah. I like to take a look at it. I always want to learn, it's one of those things where even though when I coached in college, I wasn't big into dividers. I had so many things to teach. I just felt like, if you just keep these guys always playing inside leverage in college, you're pretty much good. I didn't even work on it too much, but I did have to learn it. When I was a player, we had to go by that stuff. But my fault. Let's get into the same matchup here. Let me work on some X nasty stuff, and then we can kind of like quickly work on some close stuff. I got about 30 minutes, and lot of D. You know what? Instead of doing that, because that's going to take a while, let's just jump into a game. Let's just jump into a game. I mean, I get the ratings perfect. Let's just play some cover one. Um, I haven't really worked on two man yet. We can mix in some two man. We should have trail technique, inside trail, choke technique, whatever you call it. But let's do that. Not training camp. Let's jump back into this franchise, and we'll play with the Dolphins again. Let's just play some cover one. Let's just take a look at it. Let's see. I'm actually gonna sim to. I'm gonna sim up until the Bills. Just so we can get some good matchups. So now we'll be in the sim environment. We'll see if there's anything different. We'll play mostly stock just to see if it kind of holds true, and then whatever you want to suggest you want to see. If you want to see some underneath coverage, so it's almost like we're playing catch. That'd be good. All right. Let me just make sure my depth chart is still the way I had it set up. What I'm gonna do here is for the most part, I'll go overall matchup. We'll do that. So we get Ramsey on what's his name? Yeah, we still had Needham. Yeah, I think that's fine. So make sure. Bills. Yeah. So we'll just do overall matchup. We'll see if the matchup stuff works. Just in case they move Diggs around. If not, I'll just put Ramsey as the left corner. I put him in the number 2 slot so he can be the left corner. I haven't gone into. No, I'm gonna do that tonight, Mike. I'm gonna go into strategy and how I would run my cover ones later on. Um, right now, this is more just on technique. I'm just talking about like it looks. We're trying to just kind of figure out what routes work well against off man. I didn't get a chance to even go through all the press techniques versus some of the deeper routes. I kind of got caught up on the shading stuff a little bit too much, but we were looking at off man, and it looks like off man in general is good against short game routes. So your hitches, your slants, obviously a quick out from the outside receiver, which nobody really does. Um, then going deeper into the intermediate level, it struggles against any outbreaking routes, like a 10-yard out. Um, if you get a hitch, a curl, not great. If you run like a 10 to 12-yard dig from the outside, which most people don't do, but if you do it, the corner he does a good job of keeping his leverage. Moving down the field, comebacks on the outside was open again. The corners are winning. Um, but the dig routes, if you want to get a dig route against cover one, it has to be like 18 to 20 yards. So man to man was really good versus the short routes for the most part, and versus the intermediate inside breaking routes. Everything else, it was kind of a little bit, dicey, and that's with no shading whatsoever. So if you want to take away some of those outside breaking routes, shading outside helped. This is from off. And if you want to take away the curl, shading underneath, it definitely helps. And I didn't look at shading inside versus the deep dig. the 18-yard dig, but I think that would work too. So right now I'm just going to play a variety of cover ones, cover one 5-man rush, cover one hole. I'm going to try to stay, and actually when I go cover one hole, I'm going to go spy. I don't want any help in the middle. I don't want to have any help. I just want it to be pretty much man to man, mano y mano. Okay. Hopefully the quarterback doesn't run the ball too much. So I'll do like cover one contain right here. I forgot to put him in match by overall. I forgot to do that. That's my fault. All right. Now later on tonight, I'm gonna look at some of this stuff when it comes to like combos and how the linebackers are playing, how the safeties are playing. We'll talk more about that right now. But right now, Diggs, I think Howard's over here, right? Yeah. I'm gonna try to get the better matchup. I'll go matchup by overall. Hopefully that keeps me there, and hopefully that's not gonna be broken this year. All right. Let's keep a little contained again. Let's keep the quarterback in the pocket. Here goes that formation. Somebody was asking me about that pistol over flex or something flex. That was a tough one there. All right. Here goes. We got an example of a cut split, a receiver that's pretty much lined up close. So we're going to see some leverage battles there. Come on. We're going to see some leverage issues potentially here. We got the matchup we wanted. So this route right here is what is that? 5, 10. It's just a post. It's not a dig or a post. The computer throws these balls. It's a post route, I think, right? But they throw it. It almost looks like an on-time dig the way it's caught. So this goes back into the category of a deep. This is kind of intermediate route to the inside. Interesting, but the way he's lined up, it's tough. You can't expect him. You can't expect the corner to make this play, right? Matching by route running, I'm probably gonna get. I just want to make sure I got Ramsey on Diggs, but that if I did match up by route running, that would probably give me the same thing anyway, and everybody else would make sure that they're pretty sound. So let me do that one. I've never really done it that much, but hey, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. I do have hole press as well. I'm just gonna sit here and just do nothing with this player just to make sure I don't get in the way of anybody. There goes the curl. So the computer, again, anybody who joined the stream, why am I playing against the computer? Well, the computer on all Madden usually throws routes that beats the coverage. So early in the cycle, it's always good to like play the computer just to know maybe like right now they ran the same route that I was just working on. It took me about a half an hour to an hour to figure it out, but now the computer's already telling me that this is a route that could potentially beat cover one. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at these other routes. I don't have my matchups on right now. This is cover one, so I'm assuming this is our nickel. Whoever's playing nickel. Quick out, nothing there. Tight end buck against the safety. Nothing there. Got kind of a close split over here, cut split a little bit. The out route, I feel like that's going to be open this year. Corner turns his hips, right? Matchups by route running. I mean, I really do believe that that's the way to go. I'm a little bit more of a left and right field corner guy, and I can explain why maybe later on tonight. But we're getting this open flex close formation a lot, huh? Let's see. Let's go. I'm going to stay with off for now. I do want to use a little bit of press. Did I get messed up here? I'll go outside linebacker blitz 1. It's fine. Send 5. Are guys doing this online, coming out in these formations where there's a receiver that's close and they're forcing a lot of these inside throws like posts or seam routes? Because, I mean, I can see why this is a nice idea. Again, I know this is not the route. I'm pretty sure the computer's just throwing it extra early. But the knockouts are no joke. You guys are right about that. All right, we got dime. We have to go dime regular. We don't have a regular dime here. Yeah, gotta go quarter. Shoot, I hate 3-man rush, guys, but I'll do it here. We'll send 5 just to get everybody out of there. I'm in a quarter defense there. Just wanted to get the matchups on the field. I don't think there was anything special. We haven't looked at these interior routes out of two. I mean, he's open. It's a good throw and catch. Nickel's playing inside leverage. That could be, what is this? I'm in dime, but it looks like they still brought a safety down. Whatever. It's all good. I'm not worried about that. I didn't shade. I thought that the corners, when they played off, they kind of moved to inside leverage. This is one time that he stayed outside leverage, so he's open there. Over here, he's getting roasted. Guys are open. You know, there's windows. I think there's windows to throw the ball versus man-to-man off coverage. It's just the good thing that they did, and they did this really like last 2 years, is that corners are not always going to lose every battle. And even if they're out leveraged, they can still speed turn and come back and make a play. You know, so you have a pre-snap read. You say, I have the leverage. The play's going on. Like, I still have the leverage. And at some point, you got to trust that your guy's going to win. And there's still a little bit of a percentage where the corners and DBs can still make a play. They can still finish the play. And to me, that's real football. Back in the day, it used to be like guys would come out and they would just line up. And I don't have like a real good. I guess this is going to be a safety on a. We're going to have to end up having a safety on a receiver here. Let's flip this real quick. But guys would just be like, oh, he's inside leverage, so let me throw out. When guys outside leverage, when guys underneath, throw it over the top. When it was like playing like it was like playing ones and twos. Like, it was just boring. Now there's a little bit of randomness to it. You know what I'm saying? Ranger. Yeah, I try to, I think both of us, I have to look at more of his stuff again. I'm in the wrong defense here. I think we try to just make it make sense. Like, why are we doing this stuff? When we start talking more strategy or why we pick our defenses, I think that's going to help too. But why are we doing this? And everything that I speak on, I'm always just tilted towards what I learned from some really good guys and really good coaches. And I try to make things simple. I try to make things simple. Sometimes I make things too hard, but at the same time, I want to make sure that what we're doing makes sense, and then we can play, we can react, and we can start reading tendencies of the offense. Because the one thing on defense, the one thing I'm not a fan of, like, I'll be honest with you, I worked with Mike Pettin, right? Mike Pettin was a coordinator I wasn't, he's probably my least favorite coordinator. He had too much defense. Ultra smart guy, had a lot of answers to everything. But you can't teach everybody that stuff. And then in the heat of battle, if you have too many damn responsibilities to remember, like, you can honestly know what you're doing, but then there's just too much to process, and you're not processing it fast enough, and you're going to make mistakes. And it's like the worst feeling in the world when you're like, oh, I knew I was supposed to do that, but I just got overloaded, and my processing was too slow, So whatever defense you play, you got to make sure that it's that you're not doing too much. And that's why some people talk about, like, if you want to run quarters, just run it versus 2x2 spread. At least you know the problems that you can get out of 2x2 spread. Maybe don't run quarters versus every single coverage. Every single formation. Or maybe run it in a certain situation where you're only going to get certain type of routes. So you kind of limit the package for yourself so you can feel confident when you're playing defense. You can say, hey, again, an offense has to figure out what you're in. Even if they know what you're in, you know the weakness. But you can be like, hey, third and 3, I'm playing robber like this, right? Robber is my defense. And I know where people are going to attack me. I know they're going to throw out routes. I know they're going to try to throw, come out in compression sets and run mesh or whatever. So then now you can just protect against the plays that you know that are coming. So make it simple for yourself, You don't have to learn everything. Anyway, I just wanted to see right here. This is cover 1, but with a robber. So I don't know if naturally we have a different shading principle. But these guys are playing outside leverage on these slot receivers, which makes sense. And obviously the robber doesn't help out. And we got to go over rules of the robber. Most of the time the robber is just going to a spot in Madden. They don't actually collect anybody. They don't actually take anybody over. So that's a whole other story for another day. All right, let's go with some press. Actually, we already have press on the backside. I'm gonna leave off corner. I'm gonna back him up on this side. You see the computer's throwing curls, right? If you guys see anything, say something that I might miss. Computer's throwing curls against the nickel and press. Oh, that's not even his guy. Jeez, what is going on here? He ran the curl. That's crazy. Ramsey pressed without me doing anything. That was interesting. No glitches, just football. I'm telling you, man. All Madden previous plays not working. I think it's. I heard all Madden. It's not showing up, but if you play on All Pro, it does. That's what I heard. I'm sure they're gonna probably fix it. Again, I'm sending five because I'm trying to get. I don't want any hole players. I just want to have it just straight man coverage. So I'm sending a lot of like 5-man pressures. Oh, that was the pressure might have gotten to him there, but he got his ass kicked. I jumped out of bounds and he got hit. Yeah, you play on All Madden, right? So that's why you don't see the previous play on All Madden right now. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed that that's what's going on. I don't know if they're gonna keep it like that all year. I doubt it. They'll probably bring it back. So the pressure kind of came a little bit. I don't know if that kind of messed up the throw. But what is the computer doing? What did I say the computer always does? They do what works in All Madden. All they're doing is running curls versus off man. But that pressure made this. I mean, he was open. The ball came out late. He wasn't really that open, to be honest with you. Ramsey was kind of had that shit on lock. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. You know what? That's a good Coach Ren. I wish they do. I wish they would green dog, right? But they don't. Let's see. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Let's take a look at it as we go through this. All right. The guys are man coverage and their guy blocks. What do they do, right? I wish they did green dog. Green dogging is like part of what I learned from Rex Ryan crew. What's his name? Wade Phillips. I mean, green dogging is like the key. Attacking the protections are the key to our blitz packages. I'm in a bad defense. I'm not in the defense I'm supposed to be. They ran the ball anyway. In past Maddens, right? Sometimes they randomly do green dog. I don't even remember the times that they do it, and I get freaking hit in the mouth with it. So what green dogging guys is, it's like if you have a guy that's like right now the oh boy, if you have a man, if your man is the running back and he stays in and blocks, a lot of times in the NFL they would tell the guy who's covering the running back to pass rush. All right, so to go in there and get there's certain angles you can use and whatnot, but to add on so that if you are bringing five and they keep if you are bringing an extra guy and that guy stays in the block, you can now always try to be plus one. That's kind of the philosophy behind it. Oh, what was that route again? I don't have the previous play on, but it looked like I don't know if that was the design route, but the way the quarterback might have just thrown a freaking pass to QB. Well, what do you call it? Free form. It's almost like they did kind of an outside lead on a freaking vertical route. I don't think this is an out route. I think the quarterback threw it like that, right? But again, we're seeing some of the routes that popped up before, like these outbreaking routes, these curls. The answer to your question, Mike, is yes. Now, from a guys, I'm in the zero blitz right here. I'll just let it rock out. I'm not looking. I didn't look at zero blitzes too often, and I got to do that. You guys have to remind me because I felt like cover zero, the corners, the DBs in general played tighter coverage in zero than they did if you called cover one. So that's another study for another day right there. Maybe somebody can answer Mike's question. Um, it depends on who you're playing. You know what I'm saying? So I hate to be that guy. Most Madden guys, this is Madden, okay? Most average, another curl that got picked off again. Most average to bad Madden players throw the ball in the same area all the time. I'm not going to call no names out, people are listening, but I've played people where they are throwing the ball inside the numbers, or inside, almost inside the hash marks on every play. It could be different routes. It could be slants. It could be crossing routes. It can be whatever. So if you play a guy that is always putting the ball in the same spot, then that's where you want to maybe look at, hey, let me just play a robber technique. Let me user the whole player and let me sit in the middle of the field because most of the time, no matter what the concept is, he's looking to throw the ball in the middle of the field. Or maybe that's his first read. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the easy way to do it. Then when you play a good player who has a variety of concepts and throws the ball to different places, then you have to pick and choose. Maybe they have a dominating player that you want to just make sure that you double team, or maybe you want to put your best matchup. Matchups are probably the most important thing. So if you have a Ramsey, you got to make sure he's on the best player. I had Jalen Ramsey for a while in one of my leagues, and I put him at strong safety when I played the 49ers so that he can cover Kittle. And then I didn't have to worry about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt, then I had a, that was taken care of. If he wanted to force the ball 1-on-1, Ramsey versus Kittle, God bless him. I'm probably going to win most of those battles, and then I can now focus my coverage to just play man-to-man coverage and take away maybe the second option, right? Or take away another area of the field. So that's kind of how I look at it. Down in distance, I always felt like cover one and cover man and cover robber are always good on like third and short, third and mediums, more third and medium. That's my favorite time to do it. Third and long, I'm not really big into playing more cover one. That's when you got to get into the cover two man family if you feel good about it. Um, and then the last thing I'll say is that I do some cover one robber. I think I talked about it last night where it's kind of like I'll play half field to one side with my user. So I'll take the free safety and I'll play half a field if I feel like I want to like take away a certain player, like there's a really fast player on one side, and then I let the robber still come down, take away the middle, at least sit in the middle with his body presence, and then somebody's probably going to be isolated 1-on-1, and I feel like that matchup is not important to me. So it's like a bad player. So I always try to take away the good players. I try to take away the tendencies of somebody's offense. So that's pretty much the two things I try to do as much as possible, if that makes any sense. Whoever's getting cooked the most, yeah, I know. Another thing, if you're playing in a if you're playing in a league, I always joked about it, like in a Madden league. There are times where you can tell somebody has a dev game. I played against people and they keep throwing the ball to the tight end, to the tight end. All of a sudden, the tight end's getting is out at wide receiver, and I would like joke with the guy during the game, be like, "Oh, this must be a dev game. You got a dev game, don't you? Let's press this." Here's an example: cover one robber, right? Let me try to. I would do stuff like this. I know that was a run play, right? So if I have a team that has a good tight end, and maybe people want to put their best receiver, a lot of guys will try to put their best receiver here from this formation, right? So we have a 3-by-nub, 3-by-0, best receivers right here, right? They want to run something like over the field over here. That's pretty common. A deep crosser, something that's breaking inside, right? Easy to throw, and they might have a good tight end. A lot of teams have a good tight end. They would try to run a corner route, maybe a post route, maybe a shallow route, something. But the corner route is really the one that a lot of people would read. So they would have like a corner, they would have like a post in the middle, and that would be pretty much their basic primary targets. So I would come out and cover one robber, and this would probably be like third and four, third and five, third and six, third and seven. Cover one robber. Usually the robber always is assigned to come down away from the passing strength in Madden. It's kind of like a lurker, really. But I would switch it up, have the robber come, let me back up, have the robber come from this side. So he would kind of like get in the way of any type of route that's being run by number three over the middle. And then for me as a free safety, instead of me rotating to the middle of the field over here and pretty much playing nothing, I would just stay right here. And this is something we used to use when I was This is a Rex Ryan term. This goes back to the actual, going back to the Ravens when they used to have Ed Reed. You should talk about you can play cover one sometimes and stay in your quarters track. They would say quarters track. So quarters track is like lined up where you are in a split safety defense. It could be cover two, it could be cover four, but you just stay in your quarters track. So you just backpedal straight back. You don't get to the middle of the field, right? And then from there, you can still be playing cover one, but also you give a little body presence to whoever needs it over here. In this case, this would be the tight end. So that would like basically discourage a throw on a corner and then be ready to run over and pick off maybe a post ball because it looks like there's a lot of area here. So you guys old Ed Reed films back in the day, Ed Reed would play that type of quarters track a lot. So it would be like cover one or cover three. And he would be standing something like this right here. And he would just sit there and wait. He would play deep. He would just sit and wait. Or he would just kind of like basically bait and just go straight back. Let's look at it from a defensive point of view. Knowing that all the middle of the field is wide open. It looks like it's wide open. And then he would just be with depth. He would just turn like this, like he's about to steal second base, and then just run straight across the field and pick off seam routes and post balls. Because from an offensive point of view, they probably thought it was quarters coverage. They thought it was middle field open. They thought it was cover zero. They thought it was a double team. They didn't realize they were playing like just generic cover three. So that was a drill that I used to do with a lot of guys when I was with the Jets because there was a lot of carryover from the Ravens because the Jets guys came from the Ravens. And we would work on that, like playing quarters track cover three. So you're a post safety, but you're going to stay in your quarters alignment, work straight back, and then if you see a seam ball thrown down, like they said, run four verts, just work straight across and pick it off. We call it like stealing second base. You just turn and run, and just you could probably pick it off, catch it on a run, and return it for a touchdown. So little things that we used to do that I learned from some of the greats from back in the day before my time. That was passed on down to me. Jim Leonard passed a lot of stuff on down to me. He was one of those small safeties that was real smart, and he was with the Jets, and then he came to the Bills, and I used to just take him in the room and be like, teach me everything you know, Jim. Teach me about the defense. And there's little tips and stuff like that you would do, that we would do. So I'm going to cut this stream short here pretty soon because I got to get going. I got to go pick up the kids from camp pretty soon. But later on, we can talk more strategy. We got to see how there's a lot of stuff still to work on man to man. We got to look at press coverage more. We have to look at how to play slot receivers. Are zigs? Let me ask you guys this question before I go. Are zigs still the cheese meta? Are zigs still getting wide open? People just running zigs versus man to get open. What we got here? Green dog. I use the wide receiver. I take it everything. I know in basketball 5-on-5, it seems like general concepts that can see bad players and make them beat them. Yup. Gary Patterson did the same thing out of cover three late. Yup. Played three with the weak side safety. Flat foot read the QB's eyes. Stay up. Exactly. Because you know it's funny, man. Like QBs, I love offensive guys. Are there any offensive guys in here? I need a quarterback to come in here and give me all his swag. Quarterbacks are always so confident that they know how to manipulate the defense, like we're freaking puppets, right? I think I talked about. We have a couple quarterbacks in here. You tell me this: most of the time, at the top of your drop, especially if you're in a drop back pass, right? At the top of your drop, when you finish, going through whatever drop you have, wherever your eyes are looking, most of the time that's where the ball's going. From one side of the field to wherever. If it's the right, the middle, the left. Hardly ever do you get to the top of your drop, look one way, you're looking one way at the top of your drop, right? That's where your eyes are looking, and then you come back and throw somewhere else. Now, I've seen some people do that, maybe Tom Brady. Get to the top of his drop, look to his right, then all of a sudden hitch up, and then throw like a comeback, a deep route, maybe a check down for sure, but you hardly ever see that. And the reason why I'm saying that is that QBs, as they go through their drop, as they're backing up, yeah, they're trying to manipulate guys. They're trying to look to the left, But when they get to the point where they have to release it, they got to look to the point where they're going. So what I'm saying, I used to tell my DBs is that wherever the quarterback is looking, this happens a lot too when we're playing quarters, and you're a quarter safety and you don't have any number two vertical. Sometimes people will be like, look at one, rob one, look for the post, read the routes, da 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 da. You can do all that stuff. You can see that in your peripheral. But if you're playing quarter safety and the quarterback is looking away from you at the top of the drop, probably 85 to 90% of the time, the route is coming from that side of the field. So you can anticipate to help out to that side of the field. You can look for post routes from the other side. If you don't have any work and the quarterback at the top of his drop is still looking to your side, you can now probably anticipate robbing the curl, robbing the post that's on your side, a check down to your side. I mean, we're not going to drive a check down, but you can be damn sure that that's where the ball is going. So the same thing I was talking about as you're playing post safety, if you want to run that quarter, if you want to backpedal on the opposite side in the quarters track, and the quarterback is looking at the top of his drop away from you, you can damn well anticipate that most likely he's going to be throwing a seam route. The only routes that you can cover, right, in cover three, because you have the middle of the field, it's probably a seam route, a post route, a deep dig route. It's the ball's going to be going that way, and now you can get your feet ready, you can anticipate, and you can drive on it. I'm real passionate about that because I was a safety in college, and I was never taught that. I was never taught that, man. I was like, if I was taught that, I would have had so many picks. Oh my god. So in Madden, you can't do that, unfortunately. We can't read quarterbacks' eyes. We can't see the head. But in real life, man, I'm telling you, I'll say this. I don't know, the run and shoot. I mean, the run. I mean, even in the run and shoot, every time a quarterback drops back, every time that hits his back foot, he sets up the throw. I mean, I guess you can look one way and then how much time are you gonna have? You don't have time to be sitting back there looking from left to right. You know. So, what else is there? I was gonna say, like another thing too. Like if you play cover two, like we were talking about playing cover six, right? So today we had cover six. If you play cover six and you're on the nub side, right? So you're the deep half field safety and you're on the nub side. I mean, most of the time you're going to get that tight end running a corner route and he's just pretty much like running you off, right? Or just trying to like take up space. So maybe they can have like a post down the middle or something like that, right? So it's like a runoff route. So as you're covering, let's say I'm a deep field half safety, or it could be even six invert, and I'm the corner playing deep half field, right? Here comes a tight end. He's running straight down the field. He runs a corner, right? Quarterback is dropping back. The quarterback hits his back foot, sets up, is not looking at the tight end. The ball is not going to the tight end. You can basically leave him alone and start to squeeze the middle of the field and anticipate that the ball could potentially be going down the middle of the field. And you can make a play there. And you can do that. Because I've never seen a quarterback on a nub tight end not look his way at the top of the drop and then turn back around and then throw a corner route to him against cover two. If that ever happened, the timing would be way off, the throw would be late, he would be sacked. So we used to call that like if you're on the backside of a nub and you don't have any work, it's kind of like the field sense in Madden. Get your ass over the middle field and start helping out, right? Like there's no reason to sit there and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So what else? I mean, what situation could I get beat on? Switch. Let me see. Yeah, switch, especially if we ran in high school, need protection. My quarters, when we ran quarters, the places I've been, the drill that I would do in the preseason or like in camp would be two safeties, two quarter safeties sitting in sitting in the field, right? You have really it doesn't matter. You'd have like two receivers out there, right? And they're just going to run. One guy's going to run a curl on one side, the other guy's going to run a post, right? So the quarterback, you're reading the quarterback, you don't know which way he's looking. So as the quarterback drops back, he hits his back foot. Let's say he looks over to where the curl is, right? So you would have what? You would have your curl player see that. He can drive the curl, make a play, right? The whatchamacallit player on the backside, because the quarterback is not looking at him, he's going to open up his hips automatically and start to work towards the post. Okay? Because again, that same theory, when the quarterback hits his back foot, he's not looking at your side. Most likely, it's going to either be a curl or a post. So we just turn corners into almost like a version of cover three, where you have a robber safety who's taking care of the curl, and you have another safety coming from the backside, anticipating in case that player, the curl, is actually running a post. You know what I'm saying? You don't even need the receivers out there. You can just do it on air. And then I would have the quarterback throw the curl sometimes, or sometimes like step up and throw the post. And I want that backside quarters player who doesn't have any work. This is an example where his two, there's no number two. Number two ran to the flat, number two ran inside. But I don't like wasting quarters players on the backside. I don't like wasting half field players on the backside when the ball's not going their way and they're just standing there doing nothing. I always try to get them to overlap. And it's funny because I wasn't taught that in high school or college. But then I talked to a couple of DB coaches, and I used to be like, "Oh man, just read the routes. The routes will tell you where the ball's going." And then somebody finally just got me and convinced me to be like, "Bro, you got to read the QB too. You can't just be looking at the damn routes all the time. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna jump anything. You're just gonna be always a buck. You're always gonna be a dollar late. What is it, a dollar late, a buck slow, whatever that damn saying is." So, anyway, I'm just telling old war stories right now. All right, guys. Hope you guys, if you ever want to use that with your leagues, if you guys coach any at any level, you know, I got DB tricks for days, man. I coach linebackers too for a little bit, so I got a couple linebacker tricks, but more. I coached in the 2-4-5 defense, so I was a little bit not 2-4-5, the 4-2-5 defense back in the day a little bit. Um, a modified version of it, not the TCU version. Anyway, what is it? A day late and a dollar short? Is that what it is? My bad. Got it messed up. Thank you. All right, guys. Let me get out of here. I'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock. A little late, but got some family stuff to do. Once I put the kids to bed, I'll jump on, try to get some man stuff going, and then I'm gonna buckle down here and start making some teach videos, and hopefully they come out good this year, and everything works from there. And then I gotta start working on my own league stuff and start working on some playbook stuff for myself. Gotta get my offense together. I got a 49ers team with no quarterback. Should I trade for a quarterback? Should I trade for a quarterback on the Niners? Should I get rid of a good player and bring in a quarterback? Because I'll tell you what, I can't stand when I have wide open people and I miss them because the quarterback sucks. And I don't know what's going on in Madden right now. I haven't played anybody online, but can you win with a bad quarterback and not play like a cheesehead? Do not throw screens and not throw boots all day? Can I drop back and pass with a bad quarterback in this game, or is it pretty much I'm asking him to get my ass kicked? Trey Lance and Brock, man. Yeah. Those are the best two quarterbacks in the game. Have you seen those motherfuckers' ratings, yo? Those ratings are horrible, man. Oh my god. Brock has 84 throw power. Lance has no accuracy. Uh, yeah, and quarterback with no accuracy in Madden right now, you're asking for a whole bunch of what TF throws. You drop back and there's any pressure in your face, the ball's going left. Dude, man, Cousins. I said in real life, everybody talks about the Niners would love to have Kirk Cousins. I'll be honest with you. I was talking to somebody in my league, and they're gonna play with the Lions, and they were like, "I don't like Goff. Goff is not good." I looked at Goff, man. Goff has 97 short throw accuracy or something crazy. I know he's not gonna get better, but he's a good quarterback in the game. He's a lot better than he's in like in the top. I think Goff is in the top like 15 for sure. Maybe I should trade for Goff. Short accuracy and the 49ers skill players. Just throw the ball quick, get it out, let them boys run. Might be something to it. All right, guys. I'll check you guys later on tonight, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know I didn't get a lot of great work in, but sometimes we just sit here and we'll talk some smack, man. All right, we get into. I'm warming up my coaching progression, so I'm a little bit rusty. It's like the preseason. You know, you got to kind of like talk it out a little bit to be good at, instructional progression talk. So I got to get myself back into where I need to be. All right, I'll talk to you later, man. Peace. Madden 24 is out.